When it comes down to hardware selection, the one factor that can make or break your design is compatibility of components or technologies. For instance, when selecting a GPU for a particular application, it might be tempting to get a cheaper AMD GPU alternative to an NVIDIA GPU, for example, but if the software you plan to run uses CUDA, then you won't be able to use the AMD GPU with it. Likewise, if code runs on OpenCL, then you might be willing to use an AMD GPU instead of an NVIDIA to save money. From a hardware perspective, this makes it easier to identify what components are compatible with each other. But this was not always the case. In the past, there was no saving grace of different size components or magic key slots to prevent the incorrect devices. So while it might be annoying to have so many different shapes and sizes, it can also save you a ton of anguish and prevent a big hole in your wallet when things go wrong. When selecting CPUs and motherboards, there have been several CPU sockets. The main types are land grid array, pin grid array, and ball grid array. Intel CPUs nowadays generally use land grid array, and AMD tends to use PGA CPUs, and BGA are used for system-on-chip hardware. Pay attention to the RAM specifications and your motherboard specifications too. Finally, for adding additional cooling to your system, you can opt for traditional air cooling with heat sinks, which are passive, or fans, which are active, or some combination of the two. Or you can go with liquid cooling. Again, you will need to consider what is the most appropriate solution for your particular setup, remembering that there will need to be some decisions made around the pain versus gain mentality of any implementation.